A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew.
Glory to you, Lord.
When Jesus heard that John had been arrested, he withdrew to Galilee. He left Nazareth and went to live in Capernaum by the sea, in the region of Zebulun and Naphtali, that what had been said through the prophet Isaiah might be fulfilled. Land of Zebulun and land of Naphtali, the way to the sea beyond the Jordan, Galilee of the Gentiles. The people who sit in darkness have seen a great light. On those dwelling in a land overshadowed by death, light has arisen. From that time on, Jesus began to preach and say, "Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand." As he was walking by the Sea of Galilee, he saw two brothers, Simon, who is called Peter, and his brother Andrew, casting a net into the sea. They were fishermen. And he said to them, "Come after me, and I will make you fishers of men." At once they left their nets and followed him. He walked along from there and saw two other brothers, James, the son of Zebedee, and his brother John. They were in a boat with their father Zebedee, mending their nets. He called them, and immediately they left their boat and their father and followed him. He went around all of Galilee, teaching in their synagogues, proclaiming the gospel of the kingdom, and curing every disease and illness among the people. The gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Peter, Andrew, James, and John. These are two amazing sets of brothers. Matthew doesn't mention Peter and Andrew's dad, but he does mention Zebedee, James and John's dad. I think we should give some credit to the parents of those men. Those men came when they were called. No hesitation. And there was no mention of food. We as parents can only hope that our own kids will someday be described as immediately leaving everything to respond to the call of Jesus. And yet, it needs to be more than just hope. We need to train our children to listen for his call, be open to his call, and to respond to his call. And that responsibility does not rest solely on the shoulders of parents. That responsibility extends to all of us as a Catholic Christian community, a parish. We as parents are responsible to prepare our children in the faith, for we are their first teachers in everything: talking, walking, eating, dressing, washing, even washing cars, reading, writing, counting, singing, playing, praying, forgiving, asking for forgiveness, praising our Creator, and responding to his love. But as members of our parish family, we all need to help and support these parents so they can be good teachers, so they can fulfill that responsibility of preparing our children to be the future leaders of the church, Jesus' church, the holy people of God. Isaiah encouraged the people of the southern kingdom of Judah as they were being oppressed by the powerful Assyrian king to the north, who had conquered the northern kingdom of Israel. He tells them that they will see their own powerful king, who will dispel their darkness, bring light and abundant joy and rejoicing, who will free them from the oppression. It is there in Galilee, in the old northern kingdom, that Jesus begins his ministry. He brings the light of the gospel, teaches and challenges the people to repent or shake off their habits that lead them away from God, and he heals and cures them. The light of his message is what drew Peter, Andrew, James, and John to leave everything to immediately answer his call. Just about 10 days ago, many of us, especially families with children in our school, the teachers, administrators, support personnel, and parish staff all anxiously awaited Bishop Malone's press conference about the consolidation of the Catholic schools in our diocese. Monsignor Fred let us know in the minutes leading up to the press conference that he learned that Nativity School would remain open, but that much work lies ahead of us to strengthen the school's position in the increasingly competitive market for students. As we were all listening to Bishop Malone's explanation of the reasons for the consolidations, our eyes were fixed on the scrolling list of schools that were closing. As much as we wanted to celebrate our success in staying open, we were deeply saddened for the families whose schools were closing, for the children, the teachers, administrators, and support personnel who were losing a school, a job, a career, and a community. And we recognized that our school could easily have been on that list, if not for the hard work and dedication of the parents, teachers, administrators, and parishioners to address academics, technology, and funding for the school. This week, as you heard in the announcements, is Catholic Schools Week. Many of the schools are holding open houses today to show who they are and how they educate and form our children. Parents and students are invited to visit, observe, listen, and ask questions to determine if what is offered supports the faith and education values and goals that they desire for their children. Now here is where Catholic schools differentiate themselves from other institutions. We proclaim the good news of the gospel. Its light is shown in the whole school experience. If there is a gap between the parent's values or goals and what is offered in the school, then the parent can request a dialogue with school personnel to attempt to work out an acceptable solution. There is also an active and strong homeschool association for parents to participate in shaping and supporting their children's education and faith formation. We, as a parish, need to support our school. Yes, even if we don't have kids in the school. And yes, even if we don't have kids at all. The school is also the place where our family faith formation is based and occurs. So even if we are sending our children to a government-run school, Nativity School is where your family will participate in faith formation. This school is our investment in our future church. The school helps us as parents and all of us as a parish build and strengthen the faith of our children. It helps to prepare them to be strong servant leaders who will live out the good news proclaimed by Jesus, who will teach in our universities, colleges, high schools, elementary schools, and churches, and who will heal others emotionally, physically, and spiritually. It helps them learn to be attentive to the call of Jesus, to follow God's will in their lives, to live an abundant life full of joy and peace. It helps them to bring others to the light of Christ by their way of living, to draw people to Christ because they want the joy that radiates from them. As Mrs. Answini said, Nativity School is hosting an open house today from 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Come and take a look. Come and see. Don't let tuition cost get in your way. Look at the school, its staff and facilities and curriculum, to see if it meets or exceeds your values and goals for your children's education and faith formation. If it does, Then you will need to determine how to fit tuition in your budget. This is where we might be challenged to determine if there are things in our budget that don't necessarily align with our faith formation goals for our children. Maybe look at what is spent on entertainment, vacations, cutting-edge technology, and such, to see if lessening or eliminating some things can make room for tuition. If there is still not room for all or some of the tuition, you can contact Mrs. Ann Sweeney or set up an appointment with Monsignor Lysing to seek a possible solution that will help us bring your child into the school. If your children are grown, or if you find yourself in a position to be generous, consider donating to the school's Value for Life Fund to help keep the school available as an option to future families and children. Let us be united in living out our baptismal calling to spread the gospel, first to our children, and through them to dispel the darkness, to break the bonds of injustice, and to bring the light and healing mercy of God to all corners of the earth.